Today on the newscast, Iran responds to Israel's elimination of one of its top terror masterminds, with hundreds of missiles slamming into the streets of Tel Aviv. Get all the breaking details next. Hey folks, I'm here. Welcome to the newscast. We are coming to you today from our brand new studio here in Charlotte, North Carolina. The set is still being built behind me. As you can see, there's a lot of cables on the floor. But we wanted to come to you with an important update on that deadly attack out of Iran earlier today, which we reported on in yesterday's newscast. If you missed it, check it out here in our archives. As a reminder, yesterday, Israel eliminated the leader of Palestinian Islamic Jihad in a drone strike in the Gaza Strip, the Israel Defense Forces said. They got their man Mazen Fakhah, who was a very important terror mastermind behind a lot of the rocket attacks against Israel over the past few years, including, by the way, an attack just last month, where rockets were fired from Gaza into southern Israel. That attack killed one Israeli man in his 40s. So this guy, Fakhah, was a big fish. He was the overall leader of Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Gaza, also known as PIJ. And again, he was very close to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps. Now, that drone strike yesterday, again, we reported on it yesterday. It did not kill any other, at least according to the IDF, civilians, thank God. But now we have more details about this, and we want to break it down for you. In particular, the IDF released new footage today of what went down during this attack. Check this out. This is a drone released by the Israel Defense Forces. It was flying above Gaza City yesterday, where once again, as you can see here, the IDF targeted that car and eliminated Mazen Fakhri. Now watch the explosion here. This is pretty dramatic. Again, the Israel Defense Forces says that they believe that Fakhri was the only person killed in this attack. But Palestinian Islamic Jihad, unsurprisingly, is saying that there were also 2 women killed who were civilians, although we have not seen any independent verification of that. The IDF says no civilians were killed. The explosion from that drone strike killed 2 people according to Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Again, no independent verification yet. We also know that 3 more people were injured in this attack. But how many total people were inside that vehicle when the drone strike occurred? According to the IDF, 5 people were inside the vehicle. Again, they believe that Fakhri was the only one killed. But at the very least, it appears that Fakhri was eliminated. That's the main thing. The main objective was to take him out, and the IDF did do that. Now, we mentioned that there was another angle to this. What was that? Well, yesterday's attack, or really late Wednesday night into Thursday morning, we had a volley of some 600 rockets fired from Lebanon into Israel. Those rockets came courtesy of Hezbollah and the Iranian regime. Not only that, but Iranian-backed militias in Syria also fired some 20 missiles from Syria into Israel as well. Now, why did that happen? Because of the death of Qasem Soleimani, that we detailed for you here in the newscast yesterday. Soleimani, again, very close ties to the Iranian regime, the overall leader of Palestinian Islamic Jihad. So we knew a response was coming from Iran. We just didn't know when and how. Well, we got that response today in the form of those some 600 missiles slammed into the streets of Tel Aviv. Fortunately, again, no deaths were reported, but there were some injuries, perhaps as many as 20 people injured by the shrapnel from these missiles. We had 4 people taken to the hospital in Tel Aviv. And this was a massive, massive attack. It caught many Israelis off guard. And folks, let me tell you, you do not need to be living in Israel or in a war zone for rocket fire to rain down upon you in this day and age. We've seen attacks occur in Cyprus and in Greece, not exactly war-torn countries in the Middle East. So again, you don't need to live in a war-torn country or even in the Middle East for that matter to have hostilities come your way. The good news here is that most of these missiles were shot down by Israel's sophisticated missile defense system, the Iron Dome. There was some damage, however, to buildings and some homes in Tel Aviv. Let me show you some of this footage here. This is a shocking scene right here. You can see these long plumes of smoke against the backdrop of the city of Tel Aviv. This is the coastal metropolis there. This is where a lot of Israelis live and work. And can you imagine going to work in a high-rise like this in downtown Tel Aviv and seeing this scene? Folks, that's not something that you would expect in the city of Tel Aviv. That's supposed to be one of the most vibrant, exciting cities in the Middle East. Yet here we have this. It's a scene straight out of a war zone, and this has become commonplace, unfortunately, for Israelis. Whether it's in the streets of Tel Aviv, or in the streets of Jerusalem, or down south in the Negev desert region of Israel. But I want to show you one more thing. Check this out. This is a map released by the Israel Defense Forces showing the trajectory of these missiles. This is pretty incredible. You saw there were some 600 fired. About half of them, the IDF says, were shot down by the Iron Dome missile defense system. The other half hit their targets, at least some of them. But look at the trajectory here. This is the first time that a major attack, a major missile barrage from Lebanon, has hit the streets of Tel Aviv. In the past, missiles fired from Lebanon into Israel have targeted mainly northern Israel around that Israel-Lebanon border. But today, these missiles, there's a map on the screen now showing you, they reached as far south as the streets of Tel Aviv. That's how many were fired. And it was a very concentrated barrage. You can see it raining down there over the span of about an hour or so. These missiles rained apocalyptically down upon the city of Tel Aviv. Again, this is unprecedented for a couple reasons. Number one, it's coming from Lebanon. While Hezbollah is in southern Lebanon, Iran has a foothold there. And while it hasn't fired at Israel from Lebanon since 2006, the last Israel-Lebanon war, the Iranians, in effect, through their proxies today, did just that. And secondly, this is unprecedented in that it reached the streets of Tel Aviv. Hey, the good news is that the Iron Dome missile defense system worked as intended. Israel has made great strides in its missile defense capabilities. And thankfully, nobody was killed in this attack. At the end of the day, the big story here, folks, is that Israel eliminated a major terror mastermind in Mazen Fakhoury. By the way, remember, he was very close to the Iranian regime, so we could see more attacks coming out of Iran and through Iran's proxies against Israel. Stay tuned. Hey, thanks for joining us here today on the Watchman Newscast. Until tomorrow, God bless you, and remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the newscast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload. And don't forget to share your thoughts, insights, and comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.